Next story we actually have an email, so I'm going to read that first. This comes to us from Brad from Des Moines, Iowa. Howdy, guys. I'm curious what you all think about the latest round of layoffs at Bungie. Really seems like Sony should have never purchased them as a studio. I mean, let's be real for a moment. What has Bungie put out under Sony's leadership? They helped get that Last of Us multiplayer game canceled, and up until the reports of the layoffs, we haven't heard anything about the Marathon remake, now just being confirmed to still be in development. Is this studio purchase just a huge blunder for Sony, or is there any way they can turn this around? So they laid off I think 200 people. I think it was roughly around there.
Yeah.
They're down. I want to say they're down to 750.
It was 15% of people.
And then they're going to take another 150 and move them into some sort of new internal Sony
spinning people
studio.
off into something else.
But then the other more damning thing that has come out, I don't know if you saw this, because this was earlier this week, this was all over the internet, is that the current CEO of Bungie, Pete Parsons, has, since the acquisition, has spent millions of dollars on just buying classic cars.
He invited one of the guys to come look at his cars.
He invited someone
like the
that
community
was fired
manager
2 days later. Yeah. Because she tweeted about it on Twitter. It was this motherfucker 2 days before I was fired invited me to come look at his classic car collection. Just
crazy.
Ridiculous.
The whole thing. Well, there's that. There's also this thing about how there's a way that Sony can essentially. I mean, they're doing it already, but remember the whole deal with Bungie was we'll sell to you, but we want to be autonomous. We want to do our own stuff.
Yeah, because Marathon is multi-platform
for now. But the whole point was they wanted to remain independent, sort of, and be able to kind of do what they want. But now apparently Sony, there's something, I don't know if this is technically something that's in the kind, who the hell knows, but where they can essentially just roll them into Sony and say, "Fuck it, you're done," kind of a thing, and we're taking over.
I feel like
that's what's happening.
But there are bigger people like Luke Smith is no longer at Bungie.
Yeah.
There are higher up people that are gone.
The company, to be real, the company, it just seems doomed at this point.
It's not the Bungie, remember?
Well, they had lackluster Destiny expansions, although by all accounts, the newest one is supposed to be pretty good.
I hear the last one, and especially this final shape, are really good.
Right. But I think part of the problem with this is, remember, they made Destiny, and the Destiny 2 was pretty soon after Destiny 1. And then it's been nothing but Destiny 2 for the whole time.
What's funny now I think about it is we might actually hit the 10-year plan with Destiny 2 instead of Destiny 1.
Yeah.
That's crazy because that was the promise with Destiny 1. Oh, it's going to be 10 years.
Right, which we always assumed at the time that would be 3 video games.
Yeah.
Every 3 years you'd get the next one and they would all kind of work into each other. Now it just feels like Destiny 2 is going to do it.
Is the 10-year plan.
Because by all accounts, they had some spin-off game that's gone. Destiny 3 is probably whatever's next. But who knows what that is or when that is anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, and when I say Marathon is multi-platform, I think what they mean by that is PC.
Now it means PC. I mean, it was confirmed for Xbox when they showed it, but
I don't think
so anymore. They got to do what they can now with the Activision shit and all that other crap.
They do,
but
for sure.
I don't know, Bungie. It seems like it's in a terrible, terrible place, and I don't know what it's going to take to pull it out of it.
I don't either. And then the other thing I threw in here because it's it seems like maybe and we said this back when they announced it, but having co-CEOs is a terrible fucking idea for Sony. But it seems like Herman Hulst might be taking some control over Bungie as well.
That's part of what it is. It's that's how they're going to roll it in. Is he's going to step in and say, "I'm in charge now."
Do you think it's kind of thing where in 2 years, like you were saying, that's at the point where they're like, yeah, this is just Sony now.
Yeah. Bungie or Sony Studio or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
could see it.
The only other thing I will say is we've talked about that Last of Us multiplayer thing getting canceled before. Apparently by other reports, that thing was fucked anyway.
Bad.
Yeah. It was just not, they had to come in and say it was bad because it was bad. So I don't necessarily dump that on them as much as maybe we did in the past. But
and see, that's the thing is I don't think whatever they were making was the factions multiplayer that we played. With the first Last.
And that sucks because that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
So I
Maybe
would have
if
liked
you
to
had
see
figured
that.
out a
That's
way to put a story into that, or maybe make it PVE as well. They could. That's
Yeah.
really all it really needed to add to it.
Imagine a Last of Us multiplayer that's kind of like State of Decay.
Yeah,
That's what they could do.
that'd be a
People
fun
would
game.
love that.
People would kill for that game.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the whole Bungie situation, it's just sad to me. I look at it and go, what it was and what it's become.
It's a side effect of Sony really trying to jump into this games as a service. We need a games as a service.
It is.
Because we know that there's money in it. Destiny 1 was an incredible game. I don't blame them for saying we should just buy Destiny 2 and run it. But they got obsessed with this stuff, and it's backfiring constantly. And it's about to backfire again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When Concord hits.
I was going to say, the next time we record will be after Concord has launched. So we'll be able to hear about it.
Still, like, just to go off on that game a little bit more, it's still crazy to me how they're still checking all these character vignettes and all that stuff. It's like, who cares? Nothing good is coming out of this.
The views on those videos, but I can't imagine they're very high.
Nothing good is coming out of all of this marketing, and it just seems like, why are we spending so much money on marketing this game?
And again, like, if nobody is already interested in that game, just from what we've learned from the 2 betas they've had 2 betas, which is ridiculous. Then why continue to push? I mean, they probably have these cutscenes.
Oh, they're all already done. They've been done for a while.
I have to imagine that, like, when those are done, this game comes out and it flops, because it will. That's it. They're not going to keep making these cutscenes and putting the money into it.
I can't imagine where the money's coming from to make it. Because we talked about it too, where this is a game that's going to lose out to Marvel Rivals. Even if Marvel Rivals is a worse game, it's going to lose because it's got Venom in it. Ooh.
Here's my next question. How long until we see this game show up on PS Plus?
Concord?
As one of the monthly games. February? March?
6 months.
6 months? That's what I think too. Because they'll look at the sales, and I'm sure for the people that do buy it, I'm sure they'll do some sort of thing. Because people that buy it will be upset. And they're going to throw a fit about, like, I can't believe I bought this and now it's on PlayStation Plus. So, like, I'm sure they'll throw those people a bone.
Oh, if I paid money for that and then you just gave it away?
6 months later, it's like, yeah, they'll be pissed as fuck, and I don't blame them. So, but I feel like I can see that in 6 months totally being like, hey, here it is. It's on PlayStation Plus. Just as like an attempt to get people
boost numbers.
So, and I feel like that is what we call the last attempt to boost numbers before Sony just goes, this one didn't work out.
It'll probably make it a year, I would guess.
Because again, the executives at Sony, because they're all on this live service push, they totally look at this game and think that the same exact thing is going to happen that happened earlier this year with Helldivers. It's not going to happen.
No.
So, but
what they should be looking at is stuff like Foam Stars and that
should look at the other failures.
What was that Destruction game?
Oh, Destruction Derby.
Yeah, All Stars or whatever. Yeah, they should be looking at those games and being like, look,
it was terrible.
A lot of this shit didn't catch on. Even stuff they didn't make, like that Knockout City game. The wrestling one that was canned before it even came out. Rumbleverse or something. Didn't that die immediately?
Yeah.
Like,
they that was fun.
Yeah, but the thing is like it's dead. It died immediately. Didn't it? Rumbleverse, did it make it a year, or was it only a couple months? I thought
it was only a couple months.
I think it was like 6 months.
Knockout City made it like a year, and then that died.
Yeah,
but for every 20 of these games that comes out, because there's a lot of them, 2 hit, and Concord just doesn't. And I think the biggest problem with Concord is they set themselves up to fail by that fucking first cinematic.
They did. They totally did.
They should have told you what it was before they showed it.
And then when they showed
it and ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I miss Bungie. I wish we've talked about it before. I would like for a Destiny 3 to come out because I would like to get in at the start again.
That's where I'm at with it too, because Destiny at this point is much like I said, No Man's Sky. I love that they're still doing content for it. I appreciate everything they're doing. I couldn't get into it. It is so far beyond what I was playing.
And No Man's Sky did it again, man.
I did. I loaded up.
I want to go back.
I was like, I want to go back into it, and I loaded it. It's so overblown with what's going on. I'm like, I can't even grasp my mind around what's happening.
But it's funny because for them, that's awesome.
It is.
For other games where it's like they just keep throwing shit at the
And
wall.
it gives
can
me
be kind
hope
of a
for
mess.
whatever that other game that they're making right now is. That
Yeah.
still seems like a proof of concept type of thing, but so did No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky apparently was
Yeah.
for like 5 years.
Yeah, so